Angelina, whenever you're ready, you may start.
Have you ever felt like your life was at a dead end? Have you ever been on the road and seen a stop sign or a dead end and not known where to go? Today your situation may seem like there's no end to your suffering, but I'm here to tell you that there is a finish line. But sometimes when the finish line is difficult to reach, we can hit dead ends if we let ourselves. There are 3 types of dead ends I want to share with you this morning. The first one is sinning. Galatians 6:7 says, "Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. What a person sows, that he will also reap." We are living in a generation today who have fooled themselves into thinking that they can sin and get away with it. Psalms 10:11 tells us the reason why people sin. It says, "The wicked have said in their heart, God has forgotten. He hides his face. He will never see it." But look back in Galatians where it plainly tells us that God is not mocked. You see, you can fool all people some of the time, and you can fool some people all of the time. But you cannot fool God any of the time, because God is all-knowing. Today the enemy tells you that you can't and you won't. But I'm here this morning to declare to you that Jesus says you can and you will overcome this dead end. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The second dead end is serving. Not serving others prevents the Great Commission and what we are really called to do. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go and make disciples of all nations." Paul said in 1 Corinthians 9:20, "I become all things to all people, so that by all means some might be saved." Ephesians 5:1 says we need to be imitators of God. We need to go out like Jesus did, go out to the lost, show them his love, and gently guide them back to truth. We need to teach them to know him, to love him, to hear him, to experience him. Because if we don't, then we've only shown them half of a gracious God. We need to stop leaving them at the altar and start leading them to the one who alters, the one who fixes their brokenness, the one who shows them how to live. Because they don't just need a church experience. They need an everyday encounter. The last dead end is waiting on the Lord. Nowadays, we want everything now, in our timing, and according to our plan. However, in this waiting, God is pulling life together. Moses waited for years for God to deliver his people from Pharaoh. Noah spent almost 100 years building an ark, waiting for God to fulfill his promises. And the list goes on and on of those who waited for the Lord. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who wait for the Lord will renew their strength." God is not limited by time, but time is limited by God. Let's go back to the very first question I asked you this morning. Have you ever felt like your life was at a dead end? The date was May 14th, 2012. My parents came home late that night with devastating news. My older sister had attempted suicide. My mother found her earlier that afternoon, hanging from a dumpster, breathless and at a dead end. Confused and heartbroken, I began to claim life over my sister's situation. I remembered God's promise in 2 Timothy 1:12, which says, "And for this reason I suffer as I do. But I am not ashamed, for I know the one in whom I have put my trust." As time went on, I was able to see God's mighty healing hand on her life as she walked away from this dead end, alive and whole. This morning, your situation may seem like it is a dead end, as if there's no finish line to your race. But today I've come to declare to you that there is hope in your situations. When tragedy strikes and hard times come, you need to say, "I know I can make it." Maybe today you're struggling with your health, but you need to say, "I know I can make it." My future is falling apart faster than I can put the pieces together, but I know I can make it. My family is crumbling, but by the grace of God and the love and hope of Jesus Christ, I know I can make it. Maybe today you look at me and you say, "I'm struggling with a sin I just can't seem to get rid of. I'm finished, I'm done, there's no hope." But you need to say, "I know I can make it." You may fall, but you've got to press, because there is peace and love and joy at the finish line. God will turn your dead end into a finish line. You just have to wait on him. Will you trust God and allow him to map out your race? Or will you hit a dead end and fall behind? Thank you.